Hey everyone, my name is Sean and today I'm going to be doing a guide for Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. This guide will focus on the features of Master Duel mostly and not necessarily on how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! But hopefully this will be helpful to people who are maybe still picking up the game for the first time or finding things a little bit difficult. We're going to break this guide into several parts, and the first thing I want to talk about is answering the question, is this game pay to win? And the answer is both yes and no. It depends on what you consider winning in this game to be. If your motive is just to clear the game's content, such as go through online ranked, go through the events, do the solo mode, then you absolutely do not need to pay to win. But if you are looking to be like the #1 ranked duelist and you are here to be competitive, then there is a lots of free resources available to you to make a competitive deck. However, you will get to a point where eventually you are going to be run out of those resources and will have to then maybe consider whether you are going to spend money or invest your time to get more of them. I want to talk a little bit about my experience with the game so far, and I'm going to switch over to a different scenario. And so I am completely free to play with this game, and over the course of a month I have earned over 35,000 gems, and looking back on my history and added them up, I found that in Season 1, I earned over 22,000 gems, whereas in Season 2, and we're 3 weeks in, I've only earned 13,000 gems. Now, that's still quite a lot, but what it does tell me is that this game follows a typical mobile phone gacha style formula for free-to-play games, where the start of the game is very front-loaded, and Konami wants to give you a load of resources in order to play the game and have fun. But then eventually that will trickle down and peter out, and the amount of gems that you are going to get on a consistent basis is going to get a lot less. To put that into perspective, I have been able to open 674 packs and earned over 4,813 cards. I believe that is different, including multiple copies of the same card and not actually unique cards. To add a little bit more flavor to this, from this I have been able to build several decks. I have been able to complete, or what I consider to be fully build out Tri-Brigade Zodiac and Pure Zodiac. I've also built True Dracos, Mech Knights, Sky Striker, Tri-Brigade, but they are all not yet quite complete, especially Pure Tri-Brigade. I'm missing a lot of the extra deck cards from that. I've also made decks using cards from those other decks in order to make newer decks, and I've made things like Magiceptors, Yosenjus, but those are cards which are built by proxy, not decks which I've really focused on. And then there's a couple of other hybrids and stuff I had fun with. So on average, I would say from the amount of gems that I've had from the game so far, I've built about 6 decks, maybe not fully completed decks, but around that much. So that's not terrible, but if you're someone who is an enthusiast for deck building, keep that in mind. You are going to be limited in how much you can actually really do. I wanted to talk about the cost of how gems are valued in this game. And in the UK, it costs 70 gems, £1.15 for 70 gems. And so if I was to take the amount of gems that I've earned so far, technically speaking, in Konami's eyes, they've given me over £577 in terms of value if we equate gems to monetary value. What that does say to me, that considering that I've had this many gems and I've been able to build this many decks, if I really wanted to go ham and build just as many decks as I want to, this game could become very, very expensive indeed. Now, of course, I don't have to do that, but it's like what I like to do in this game. So is this game pay to win? It depends on how much you want to really play it. If you are someone that wants to try and build multiple decks, then eventually you're going to run out of gems to be able to do so. But if you are happy with just building a couple of decks, maybe only 1 or 2 of them are completed, then you will get along just fine, and eventually over time you'll have more gems to kind of finish off the decks that you haven't completed, and you'll be able to make more down along the line. Just on a quick side note, in terms of, I just want to share my quick opinion in terms of gems. I always support the companies anytime I play a free-to-play game, I always try to support companies by buying some of their products, because I think it's important that they're here to make money. It's a business at the end of the day, and that you support them by showing your support by actually making them money. If the game's not profitable, it's not going to hang around, and it will be just another Yu-Gi-Oh game that was free to play, and then it will die out like so many more before it. So I will give Konami some money for this game, because I really love this game. However, in my personal opinion, I do not think the conversion rate of gems to monetary value or pounds for me is really valuable. I think it's too high. I think that if you compare it to other video games, let's say a MOBA, a character in a video game may cost you like £10, £7 at the cheapest, maybe £5. If you look at Smash, character isn't so expensive. But when you buy that character, you get the whole kit of that character, and you can use them as much as you want to. In this game, you're buying gems, and then you've got to spend those gems on random packs and hope you manage to pull enough or have enough resources to craft the cards you need to then play the deck. It's an extra layer of step in between another step of another grind. So you're grinding to grind to then be able to play the deck that you want. If this was a case where you could just outright say, hey, buy this DLC and you can play a Monarch deck, or buy this DLC and you have a Sky Striker deck, then I would be like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. I get that. I get what I've paid for. I'm happy to do that. But this is buying gems to then go buy more random packs with the hope of getting the card that you want to get. It's very expensive in my opinion, and even with these special packs, 3,000 gems is not a lot. You can open up your 30 packs and you can still get nothing really out of it. So in my personal opinion, I don't think it's very good, but I will support the game in some way, shape or form, just thinking about how best to do that. So gem management in this game is very important, and I want to talk a bit more about how to earn gems and how you should spend your gems in this game so that you can continue having a fun experience. My overall advice with gems in this game is to be very frugal. Know what you're going to spend your gems on and how you're going to invest it and the risks involved before you just go out and throw your gems. It can be very tempting to think, hey, I want to build this deck, I'm just going to throw my gems at a bunch of secret packs for it and then do the best I can. And you can absolutely do that. If you're having fun doing that, absolutely go ahead. But if you are looking to really get the value out of being able to complete a deck and then use it in modes like online ranked or maybe even an event for a festival, you really want to make sure that every time you invest your gems, you're going to get a value out of it. So we're going to talk about that for the rest of this video. As you can see, I've just switched over to my secondary account. This is just a free to play dummy account. I'm not looking to concentrate on this, so this is nothing I'm focusing on. This account is only 3 days old, although I've only played it for 1 day, and in that space of time I have bought 0 packs. Well, actually no, I've bought 30 packs because I'll show you what I've bought, but I haven't used those cards, and I was able to clear the content of this game in most modes. I've been able to be in the exhibition for the event. I've been able to do all of solo mode through just using the basic cards. So again, if you don't want to spend a lot of gems, you don't need to, and you can still clear out the events and get the rewards for doing so. So you can still be very conservative in how you approach this game. You don't have to have a crazy deck to win. The only time I would say you really want a competitive deck is if you want to get to Platinum 1. Then yeah, you might need a competitive deck because you're playing against other people who are going to be doing their best to beat you. But for solo mode and for event mode, just, you know, use what you have available to you. I cleared all of this and bought 0 cards to do so, so it is very possible. When you're earning gems in this game, there are 4 ways to earn gems that we can break them down into. We have daily rewards, weekly rewards, seasonal rewards, and permanent rewards. Daily rewards are on your missions tab and they are available to you every single day. So as soon as you log in, I would recommend going through these and doing them as much as you can, because these are the ones that will expire and disappear the soonest. After that, you then want to focus on whatever the current event is. So the current event is Xyz Festival. So we're going through the campaign right now and try and hit these milestones and get as much as you can out of the event before the event disappears. But at the time that I made this, as you can see, there's only 1 day left for the event, so I probably won't have time to do it on this account. But on my primary account, I've already farmed all these out and gotten what these are. So and I've done all of that, again, just to reiterate, I've done all of that without investing in a single deck other than the basic deck that you're given at the start of the game. Then after you've done your weekly kind of event, you then want to do the season, and the season comes from online ranked mode currently in this game. If I switch over to that, so online ranked season, and you have a reward list when you go over here. Now these rewards reset every month. So how it works is, as you climb through the ranks, at the end of every month your rank will be reset to the start of the previous rank. So if you got to silver 1, then you will go back to bronze. I think you go back to silver 5, and then if you go to say I'm currently platinum 5, if I went from platinum 5 and I ended the season on platinum 5, I will then go back to gold 5 in the next season. What's nice about this is that all the rewards that are available before this will be just given to you for free, and then you'll start from your new rank and then you'll work your way up. Now while playing competitively is very fun, the rewards are very dire in my opinion. There's only 3,000 gems here, so don't go into ranked mode and think that you're going to be playing ranked so you can earn more gems to build more decks with. That's not going to happen. You will, in pretty much any competitive deck, you will probably invest more in gems in building that deck than you will actually get as a reward. So you are going neg. So just be aware of that. But it is fun to chase these rewards, so do the best you can to get as high as you can. But like I said, you don't have to stress about it and do that. So we've now, and then of course permanent rewards are in two forms. You have permanent rewards on the limited missions. These are lifetime rewards, so just work on them as you play the game naturally. And then you have of course solo mode, which I thoroughly enjoy doing. And again, you don't need a special deck to go through solo mode. I use my basic deck to clear out solo mode, and I've gotten all the rewards I wanted to out of this. Just haven't done the last two, but then otherwise everything's been easy to clear with just a basic beatdown deck. And I want to show you that deck actually. I'm going to show you exactly what it is, what I'm able to do. Now these are the decks I've earned so far. These are the ones that were given to you in solo mode. That starting deck, this is my Xyz Festival deck, which is the same as my starting deck, and these two I will talk about later on why they're here. But the basic deck I've only used to clear content in this game at the moment is just this stuff here. This is what's given to you in solo mode. Some 1900 beaters, some monarchs to get rid of cards, some monster removal, spell and trap removal, a couple of special summons, a trap hero there, and yeah, going for solo mode, managed to beat it easy enough. Time consuming, but still managed to win. Another way you can also get rewards is of course Duel Pass, and that's going to tie us into what you should be buying. But the normal track for Duel Pass is every time you level up your rank, you get rewards for doing that too, so you can get more gems there. So what should you be spending your gems on in terms of to get the most value out of this game? So there's lots of things that we can go through. First, I want to talk about the things that I consider that are safe buys. The Duel Pass at the moment is a safe buy. It costs 600 gems, and if you complete it, you get back 600 gems. Plus you get crafting resources, plus you get some cosmetic items there. So this is a no-brainer to me. Get your Duel Pass. Hopefully it always stays the same, and as long as you spend the amount that you put in and you get that out, then it's easy to buy. Bundle deals. These bundle deals are pretty cool. I've bought my 3 of these and already opened them. I didn't use the cards in these, but I did open them. And they come with some really good individual cards: Ash, Lightning Storm, Solemn Judgment. These are very good staples. They will be usable in many decks, so feel free to go and grab these. These were very good value for money, and then you get 10 packs to open after that. Accessories, I don't care about cosmetics in my opinion, but if you want to buy these and you really like it, that's a safe buy in my opinion. Feel free to spend your gems on those, because you know you're going to get exactly what you're buying. Structure decks, I'll come back to that. And then another safe buy is the bonus packs. Bonus packs are bought using tickets, and tickets can only be spent on this one pack. The packs are not good, they're pretty bad to be honest with you, but because you can only spend them on these one packs, there's no decision here to make. You can just buy them and get what you want. They're pretty bad in my opinion though, and you can't buy them and then dismantle these cards to get crafting resources, so that kind of sucks. But yeah, here's what it is. They're safe buys at the very least. Now, where you have to start considering what you're going to buy stuff is when you buy the other packs. I do not recommend buying these packs whatsoever. I think these packs are pretty bad, especially not the Master Pack. The Master Pack, the card pool in this one is way too high, and so if you're chasing a specific card, and anytime you open a pack you kind of want to chase certain cards, you're not going to get what you want by pulling from a card pool this big. So if you're happy to get completely random cards, that's what you're going to get from that pack there. These two ones are nice in the sense that their card pool is smaller and they only have 80 cards in these sets. However, the way these are designed is that these cards are not usable whatsoever. You are not going to be mixing Trap Tricks along with Terratops along with Salaman Great Gazelle. You can't make a deck with this. Twin Twisters is fine, Desires is fine, but these Pendulum cards are not going to work with, say, your Thunder Dragon. It's just not going to happen. You are better off buying the secret packs of these cards if there are secret packs available for these cards. So I would not recommend buying this whatsoever. And the Revival of Legends is just Blue Eyes and Link Dragon cards. Again, you can't really buy make a deck with these. They're too sparse, and I would not recommend it. Do not recommend buying those whatsoever. I do recommend, however, going through secret packs. Actually, let me talk about structures before this, because that's an easy one to cover. Structure decks are if there is a ultra rare or a super rare and you need multiple copies of it and you really want to chase and you really know you're going to use that ultra rare, super rare, this could be a good thing to do. Like if I wanted 3 copies of Utopia for some reason, then this might be the cheapest way to get Utopia. So buying 3 of these is actually pretty good. The Pendulum one is really nice because if I was to build Pendulum Magician, there is a lot of good cards in here. I would want double harmonizing. I would want 3 Skull Crobat. I would definitely want 3 Pendulum Call. I would definitely want 3 Duelist Alliance. I want 3 Heavy Storm Duster anyway, even if I'm not playing Pendulum. A couple of Sky Irises. Those cards are really nice. So there's a lot of value, but if I'm not going to play Pendulums, there's no point buying it. So know that you're going to want to use this if you want to. If anybody is interested in buying this, just be aware Pendulum Magician is a very complicated deck, and the extra deck cards are very expensive. You need a lot of different extra deck cards, and that's going to cost you a lot. So find a good deck list before you buy this. And then Cypher, I don't think this is very good whatsoever. Maybe there's one good card here. I mean, it depends on what you consider a good card. I like Starly Safer, but the rest of it is I wouldn't buy the structure deck in my opinion. Now, what you should be doing is buying secret packs. Secret packs are very valuable if you are looking for multiple cards within the same secret pack. So if I wanted to say, let me think of one that I can actually really talk about. Let's say I wanted to build Gravekeepers. Secret packs are nice because they have featured card lists as well as a large pool. And anytime you buy a pack and you open a pack, the last 4 cards will be from the featured card pool. So you have a higher chance of getting the actual cards that are featured in here. I would never open a pack to chase out rare cards and normal cards. You get so many rare points and normal points that that if you get some of these from opening a pack, then that's a bonus, but you should never open a pack just for rares and normals. You should only open packs if you want to get ultra rares and super rares. Particularly, I would necessarily consider not chasing ultra rares. I would chase super rares because super rares are guaranteed. So if there is at least one super rare that you want in it, then it might be worth opening this pack. I wouldn't necessarily open it with the hopes of, say, getting free Necro Valley, because the odds are I'm not going to get free Necro Valley just by opening packs, in case I only wanted Necro Valley and none of the other cards. But if I wanted to build Gravekeepers and I wanted free Royal Tribute and free Necro Valley Throne, then I would maybe invest in this pack here. But before you go into building a deck, I actually think that because how many limited resources you have in this game, I think it's better to actually not chase decks and chase staples. Staples are singular cards which can be used in multiple decks. I'm going to switch over to a different screen to share this with you. So let's go over to my, not to that screen, but to my browser here. So I've made a spreadsheet of the most popular cards in the game in the trading Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG right now. This does not reflect Master Duel, but this reflects the competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game right now in the that's being played around the world. So these are the most popular cards in the game, and as you can see, cards like Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, this card is by far the most popular card in the TCG, bar none. The most popular card in the OCG is Max Z. So those cards have a lot of value and they're used in a lot of decks. I'll show you some examples later on. And you can look at this list and think, oh, Infinite Impermanence, that's a good card to get. That's going to be used in a lot of decks. I will go chase that card first. Lightning Storm, chase that card first. The different pots, Pot of Duality, Extravagance, Prosperity, really good cards. Solemn Judgment, Call by the Grave, Imperial Order was there. Lava Golems used a lot. Link Karibo's very popular. Super polymerization is very popular, and so on and so forth. There is how this works is we have every card has their rarity listed by them, so you know what rarity they are if you have to craft them. And I've listed them in order of priority in terms of how often they are used in the trading card game. Now, even though the cards towards the bottom of the list are only listed as frequently used, don't think that they're not very popular or not worth investing in. This is the top 100 out of over 10,000 cards in the game. So all of these cards are worth focusing on. So, but the cards at the very top are very, very highly used, and I would definitely think about getting these cards early on with my gems if possible. So Ash Blossom, Crossout Designator, and so on are very, very much worth investing in because they could be useful to you in multiple decks. Now, I might change this, but I've done it at the time being of this recording. I've tried to include some cards that are not in the game just yet, just so people know what's coming out in the near future and what's really popular right now. So if I sort this from A to Z, all of these cards here are very, very highly played, but they are from cards that are not in the game right now, or if you're Mystic Mine, for some reason the card's just banned anyway, so don't worry about it. But Red Eyes Dark Dragoon is not in the game, but that card is very popular right now, so you might want to save some resources if it becomes available. Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer is a very popular card right now, so you might want to save up for it, and so when it becomes available you can buy it. Sword Soul is the brand new archetype, which is one of the top decks in the deck game, so you might want to save up for Sword Soul when it comes out, and so on and so forth. But what you can do with this list is sort it by pack, and when you do sort it by pack, you can see which cards that are highly played are in which pack. So Lava Golem, Great Marju are in Beast of the Inferno, so you might want to pull on that a lot, and they're super rares. Salamangreat Almirage is in Blazing Fortitude. If you're going to be a Salamangreat, that might be worth doing so. Tennies are very played with Source Sold, so you might want to buy some Dragon Spirits. Kaiju's, Emerging Monstrosity Recon, and so on and so forth, so you can see exactly what are here. I try to keep the ones that are the same in multiple lists, so if I sort it by pack 2, these are in the Legacy pack. Rulers of the Deep is Torrential Tribute. Stalwart Force has these cards here, but they're also in other packs, so you might want to get those. And so you can sort it by whichever pack they're most commonly in. Unfortunately, a lot of these cards are not in packs. A lot of these cards can be crafted only, so if I sort this out again by priority, things like Ash Blossom, oops, wrong way, let's do it this way. Let me just undo, sorry, my apologies, we got back. One more time. Okay, so cards like Crossout Designator is not in any secret packs, you can only craft this card. Infinite Impermanence, you can only craft it. Lightning Storm, Max Z, Pots can only be crafted. Call by the Grave can only be crafted. So how I would approach my collection in this game is I would use my gems to buy secret packs and then dismantle cards I don't need to get these highly sought after cards and craft them, because the only way you can get them is by crafting them. Cards which are in secret packs I might not try to craft unless I really needed it right now, and I might focus on getting these cards first. Now, so that's what I would do. I would build up my collection of singles, and so they can be used in multiple decks. But let's say you do want to build a deck. Well, there's two things that I would do in terms of approaching that. So one thing you can do is use the public deck search feature, and you can try and find a deck, and then you can see a list and try to work out where you get these cards from by seeing how to obtain and then chasing them by opening their packs. Just keep in mind that most of the most popular decks are incredibly expensive, and if you're a free-to-play player, you would have to use pretty much all of your gems if you wanted to build a deck like Drytron. So, for example, Drytron comes from two sets. It comes from Miraculous Advent for the Herald stuff, and Celestial Dragon and Bear for the Drytron stuff. In the Drytron stuff, you need 3 super rares, 4 super rares, 1 ultra, 3 ultras, 5 ultras. So that's 4 super rares, 5 ultras that you have to chase. And for the Herald stuff, you will need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 ultra rares and 2 super rares. So, and then there's all the other cards as well available that you need to get if you wanted to build this list. And so this is very, very expensive. So you really want to know that you're going to commit to this before you commit to this. And I would recommend doing some homework and research before deciding to do so. One thing that I'm kind of mixed on with Master Duel and keep in mind is that even fun decks, let's say I wanted to build Harpy, can still be quite expensive. And it kind of makes me want to only focus on building competitive decks because I know I can win with them. Whereas Harpies would be more of a fancy deck but can still be expensive. Looking at Harpies, it has a ton of super rares that I would need in order to complete this deck list. Featherstorm is an ultra, Harpy's Feather Duster is an ultra, the new Synchros are ultra, and then you need a lot of ultra extra deck cards as well, which are generic in some ways but still very, very expensive. So yeah, keep that in mind that even fun decks in this game can be very expensive. So you really want to research the deck you're going to invest into before you go and do so. So I want to show you how I would research in this game and what I would use as a resource to help me do that. So I'm going to go over to here. There's a couple of websites that I really like. One of my favorite websites, and has been for many years, is Road of the King. Road of the King does metagame reports from the OCG, so from Asia, which you don't get a lot in many other, say, YouTube channels or other people's resources. And so it's really good to see what's being played out across the pond, across the world. Now, what's good about the OCG as well is the OCG gets the cards first in this game. It goes OCG, then it goes TCG, and then it goes Master Duel. So the cards that they have are ahead of us, so you can see how they're performing. They won't necessarily perform exactly the same in our environment because the TCG game is different and in some ways to the OCG, but it's similar enough that you should pay attention to it. So if you have a look at this metagame breakdown, Despia is currently the most dominant deck. Adventurer Tenny is the next most dominant deck. You got Drytron is very consistent, Fluunderies, Sword Soul, Eldritch, Adamantipator, so on and so forth. So I would keep up to date with news and think to myself, okay, that's going to be popular. I'm either going to save gems or I'm going to invest in that deck now because I know I'm going to be able to play it for a long time. So Eldritch right now is available in Master Duel. You can keep playing that and it will probably survive the next couple of formats and ban lists. Sky Striker, always strong, so you can invest in Sky Striker. And then so on and so forth. A lot of these are not in the game yet. Drytron, still very strong. What's nice about this website is that they are also doing Master Duel metagames, and so they've done a breakdown of what's in Master Duel at the moment. Tri Brigade is one of the most popular decks, but not in the OCG, so you know, think about that. Virtual World, same thing. Eldritch, Zoo, Adamantipator, Drytron, Prank Kids. So they also do reports on that, so that's really good to see. And they also give you deck lists, and you can see what people are building and putting in their decks. And let me just point out to you, look how many staples there are. I know what I'm talking about when I do this. Max Z at 3, free Ash, free double Lightning Storm, free Pot of Desires, 1 Foolish Burial, 1 RP Feather Duster, 2 Called by the Grave, Forbidden Droplets, Infinite Impermanence, Staple, Cross Out Designator, Staples, Access Code Talker. Moving on to Virtual World, Maxi again, Ash again, Nibiru this time, Gamma, Pot of Desires. The same most popular strongest cards get used in multiple decks. Let's look at Eldritch. Very different deck, doesn't use hand traps, but will use things like Solemn Judgment, Solemn Strike, Vanity, Skill Drain, Nightmare Phoenix, and so on and so forth. So keep abreast with news and keep up to date. Another really good website is The Organization. This is more of a casual website, but all the news for Yu-Gi-Oh! In Japan that comes out, they translate for us, so it's really good to go from there. If you want to focus on the TCG, I recommend this post here, which is the competitive budget master post on Reddit. Shout out to Jeeves McAsian, he's always kept this list up. It's a really great post, and you can just see what people, if you were to be a budget player in the TCG, this might be worth building. But most value for a Master Duel player is the deck list, and you can see this is how you play Dragon Link, and then you can pull it into Master Duel and try building it yourself. PoleWarJoe.com has always been a fun website. They do things like Card of the Day. I don't really use this much anymore, but they're one of the most old school Yu-Gi-Oh websites, so they provide a lot of good information over time. And then the last one I recommend is YGO Pro Deck. YGO Pro Deck is a really good community resource. People just submit deck lists, and you can filter it and find what deck you want to use, and people are really gracious in terms of how they describe and do guides for their deck. So for example, I think one that I was looking at earlier was Eldritch Zombie 22. This guy built the deck. and then he did a whole detailed breakdown on how to play this deck, and he did it in Spanish too. And then or you can look at one here with a picture, and there's a picture of his deck list, and he can show you exactly what he made, and this is all ready for Master Duel, ready to go. So there is a lot of good resources out there in order to be a competitive player or to get value out of Master Duel. I want to obviously pimp out myself. My name is Sean, in case you've never seen my channel before, and oops, I don't want that to be played because that could be a copyright. And I used to make content for Legacy of the Duelist. I used to make tons of deck lists for that game. I want to do the same for Master Duel and do detailed guides on how to play different decks, but I'm still working out how I'm going to balance that with the amount of gems that I get, because I am a free-to-play player at the moment, so we'll see how it is. But right now, I also make content for this video as well, so hopefully this guide is been helpful to people, and hopefully you guys will consider subscribing and supporting the channel, and look forward to more Master Duel content. Thank you as always guys for watching my videos. I really do appreciate those who have always watched my content and follow my stuff, so thank you to you all, and I'll see you soon. Take care.